Hello everyone, I'm Rich Flanagan, Executive Vice President of AmeriFirst Financial, and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to learn about something that we are so incredibly excited about in our newest venture, RELO funding. It's our hope that after this presentation that you will also share in the excitement and the possibilities and opportunities that we believe it can provide. Let's start by talking a little bit about our industry. It's hard to think that there's any industries that have been more impacted by the compliance changes and technological advancements than the real estate and mortgage industries. Our businesses are being transformed at lightning speed, challenging us to discover unique ways to bring value to our customers and reduce the friction in the home buying and financing process. We are excited to introduce you to our new fresh approach designed to bring unmatched efficiency at a reduced cost to the consumer while at the same time providing you, the agent, great profit potential. But before we dive into that, we felt it might be useful to spend a minute taking a look at the different types of mortgage providers and how they each approach the business. They can generally be separated into two sides. I want to start by talking about the two sides of the industry. On the one side, you have the big banks, the credit unions, and the call centers, and the other side, you have the independent mortgage banks, such as AmeriFirst Financial. On the one side, you have a history of not really focusing on the service and efficiency of the loan process. You usually have minimally paid loan officers, which unfortunately leads to minimal expertise. This is why true expert originators, for the most part, don't work at these larger institutions. Because of the real lack of product depth, they don't really have the ability to provide real consultative selling. And typically, the originators there have very little influence on the loan during the process, which of course leads to a lack of consistency, a longer process, and in some cases, missed close of escrows. They also have very little commitment to finding creative ways to partner with the real estate agent community to really bring additional value to you. On the other side, you have the independent mortgage bank, where we are 100% committed to the purchase mortgage space, with over 80% of our originations coming from purchase loans. This is where the true expert originators in the industry typically work. They are armed with a much larger product depth, which allows them to provide true consultative selling by giving the consumer options that will best fit their financing needs. We have one unified team goal, and that's to provide the consumer with an amazing experience with as little stress as possible. We are also 100% committed to our real estate partners and are always looking for new and creative ways to bring value to both you and your customers. But because the average originator spends the vast majority of their time finding agents to partner with and bring value, it's becoming more and more difficult for them to build and maintain a consistent pipeline of loans while providing the highest level of service at the sharpest price. As the world continues to find efficiencies in the delivery methods for all areas of the consumer experience, we too are continually evaluating our efforts. The industry, for the most part, has already transitioned from the traditional face-to-face consultation to a more virtual approach because in this fast-paced world we live in, it's important to provide an experience that matches our customers' expectation. With that in mind, we now also need to become more efficient in the mechanism in which we procure loans. As we have moved away from the days of the milkman all the way to the simplicity of Amazon, we too wish to bridge the gap between the real estate transaction and the loan transaction by uniting the two fronts to give the consumer the seamless experience they deserve at the price they deserve while keeping the experts involved in all phases of the process. Because the consumer is the most important variable in this equation, the question now becomes is there a way to blend the expertise and partnership of the independent mortgage bank while providing the more aggressive pricing of big banks? The answer is yes, by including the agent in the origination process. You're probably asking yourself now, how can this be legal? The answer is it's actually always been legal. There is no federal or state prohibition of dual licensing. The restrictions that do apply simply state you can't be compensated on FHA, VA, or rural housing loans. On this slide, you will see the CFPB's definition of loan originator, and it also provides insight to the fact that not only does the law not prohibit dual licensing of a loan originator, but it went out of its way to put in special provisions to call it out. Not only has the CFPB provided this guidance, but both HUD as well as individual states have also included these provisions in their rules and regulations regarding dual licensing. Basically, you can't be compensated on government loans. And that's okay, because conventional loans now account for approximately 70% of the current purchase market, with that number growing every day. And that is great news for you, because it provides you the opportunity to get paid on more loans. I promise you that the things that you will hear after this presentation from the lenders that you're currently working with is that this is illegal. I think we have shown and illustrated that that is absolutely not the case. So what happens if you push a government loan through your pipeline? A loan originator who is eligible to originate that government loan will be assigned the file. And in all respects, except for compensation to the RELO originator, the loan will proceed in the same manner as all your other loans. So the question is, has this been done before, and why now? We truly believe that with advanced technology, it affords us the ability for our RELO originators to easily direct their borrowers to an online application and start this loan process. This model actually creates a seamless transition at every milestone of the real estate purchase experience, which means, of course, the consumer wins. Our goal is to build on the foundation of professionalism and trust that you as the agent have already fostered. And again, since over 70% of the loans originated right now are conventional loans, it provides you the ability to get paid on more transactions. And lastly, we don't believe any organization has thought to not only compensate you on the transactions you originate, but also compensate you for telling your friends and having them also reap the rewards of this amazing opportunity. Until now. We are hoping now that you are thinking to yourself, wow, this sounds interesting, but how do I get paid? There are two ways for a RELO originator to make money with this new model. On the first method, all your borrower has to do is go online, fill out the application, upload their documents, and if that loan funds as a conventional loan, you'll receive a ½ point commission. So on a $300,000 loan, that will be $1,500. That's a pay raise on every transaction. I'd like to use this example to illustrate the impact this can have. If you were to sell a home for $375,000 and that borrower is putting 20% down, and also making the assumption that you work for a real estate company that you're on a 70-30 split commission. On the $375,000 at 3%, the gross commission is $11,250, of which you receive 70% of that, or $7,875. On the loan amount of $300,000, you receive an additional ½ point, which is $1,500. That works out to a 19% increase on this transaction alone. The second method in which you can get paid is to create a small download of agents you refer into the program. This will allow you to build additional income that can really be significant. Let's take a look at just how much of an impact this can really make. As you can see, as your network continues to grow, so too will your income. Unlike most network marketing models, where you need a large download of people doing things they aren't accustomed to doing, this allows you to confidently tell your colleagues this is a legitimate way to make additional income doing what you're already doing with very little additional effort. And because the transactions are so large, it allows us to pay out an additional up to $500 per conventional loan. That's real money. Here's an example of what it looks like down 7 levels, with each of those levels just adding 2 additional recruits each. So you might be asking yourself, do I need to be a loan expert? And the answer is absolutely not. That's why you have the expertise of your RELO Funding Inside team to rely on. Your role is to simply direct the borrower to the Apply Now link we will put on your website. Have them fill out their application, remind them to upload the documents requested into the system, and then provide a warm call, email, or text that includes the borrower and your inside loan transaction coordinator. So your customers are going to ask you the question, why RELO funding? Which of course is a great question, and we want to reassure those customers of why you have chosen to align yourself here. The first reason is transparency. By joining RELO, it allows me to stay fully engaged with your loan transaction and have influence on it during the loan process. The second is our process. You're going to find that we are committed to providing you a smooth transaction with as little stress as possible. Third is our pricing. I think if you do compare us to other companies, you will find we offer a very sharp price while still keeping real loan experts on staff. And number four, and maybe most importantly, Mr. Borrower, is that this is the only company that I know of in the entire country that has a $10,000 performance assurance. So if they don't close a loan that they say they're going to close, they're going to put their money where their mouth is. We hope that after watching this webinar, we have made a compelling enough case for you to join us in this new united approach. As you can see on the screen, there are some additional steps that will need to be taken in order for you to become a fully licensed mortgage loan originator as well as an employee of RELO Funding, which of course includes taking and passing the national test. Shortly after this webinar, you will receive some information that includes FAQs, supporting legal documentation, as well as the RELO Funding intake form that you will need to fill out and submit if you'd like more information sent to you about your state-specific requirements. This also allows you to hold and secure your spot so you immediately start sharing this new concept with your agent colleagues and start building your network. We are allowing every agent to secure and hold that spot for a period of 90 days to allow you time to get your licensing and employment requirements taken care of. Although we can't pay you until you are fully licensed and employed, don't let that preclude you from spreading the word and building your network. If you're filling out your intake form, please include your referring AmeriFirst LO's reference number. If you do not have it, please ask them before submitting your form. If you do not have a referring loan originator, just leave that blank. If you have any additional questions, feel free to email us at questions@relofunding.com and we will be happy to assist. Guys, thanks again for taking time out to listen to this webinar. We really hope you come join this next evolution in mortgage lending because truly together we can make great things happen.